First tonight on Our News Weekend, more bloodshed on the streets of the capital overnight. A man ambushed and gunned down in the Elizabeth Estates community, leaving behind a family devastated and in mourning. Plus, the Coalition of Independents presenting Vision 2030. Leader Lincoln Bain says this thorough plan for the future of the nation needs your input. We'll tell you why. And later, gospel reggae artist Sherwin Gardner in the Capitol this weekend for the release of his 20th album. Our entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller was there for the inspiring event. We've got the sights, sounds, and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Megan Shepard. A man gunned down and ambushed in a deadly attack, leaving behind a family devastated tonight. The tragedy unfolded just after 7 p.m. last night on Australia Avenue in the Elizabeth Estates community, as gunfire pierced the night air. In the aftermath, dozens of family members and residents gathered along the streets, grappling with the shocking act of violence. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King was on the scene and provided details on the events leading up to the shooting.
Our responding officers from our operation unit responded, and they found an adult male with wounds or gunshot wounds to the lower extremities. EMS was summoned and they examined the body and found no signs of life. What we know thus far in our initial report is that the victim had just arrived at the residence when a black Japanese vehicle pulled up, opened fire on the victim, fatally wounding the victim.
According to police, the victim, believed to be in his late 20s, was not a resident of the area, but was known to frequent the community. Authorities are urging anyone with information to contact them at 911, 919, or the Criminal Investigations Department. Police continuing to address the rising trend of ambush-style killings.
I think every homicide is a concerning matter for the police, but we remain resilient in doing our job and continue to make the Bahamas safe, removing the criminal elements from within our communities. So every homicide is a concern for us.
Meantime, hundreds of supporters filling the theater and even corridors at Fusion Superplex last night as the Coalition of Independents unveiled a Vision 2030 and a host of candidates for the impending general election of 2026. Leader and candidate for the Pinewood constituency, Lincoln Bain, says he believes the country is in crisis and perishing because successive leaders had no vision for the future. Bain telling attendees that although their vision is thoroughly and comprehensively put together, it's still not complete without their input.
So what the COI is bringing to this nation is a plan to take us forward, no matter who is in power. Because the only people who are going to be in power after we win this next general election is the people. You are going to be in charge. But I want you to know what you're getting. And I also want you to contribute to this. Even though education is 80 pages, you can go right underneath it and you can contribute to it. So the book there, and if you scroll right under the book, you're going to be able to go and put your input in there, and that will come straight to us. You can say, I like this, I like that, I don't like this. You all forgot about that because no 1, 2, 3, 30, 40 people have all the ideas.
Candidates seeking to vie for various constituencies such as Carmichael, Marathon, Elizabeth, Anglerston, and Fort Charlotte, all presenting various aspects of the vision, from education to tourism, transport, and tackling crime. Bain says the COI has one mission, and that is to put Bahamians in position to build this nation.
The problem with our nation is we've been depending on 10 to 15 cabinet ministers to determine what happens in our country. Them days over. So our vision is not just about what we plan to do, because we have one real mission. It's not just the great ideas that we're putting forward. Our one mission is to get you to do. It's to put you in a position so you can build this nation. The politicians have been failing us. And so now it's time for us to take charge. And that's why we formed the Coalition of Independence, because they're failing us.
The Immigration Department collected $127 million in revenue in 2024. That's according to Immigration Minister Alfred Sayers. Sayers made the revelation on the sidelines of the Immigration Connect City pop-up Friday on Christie Park. He explained the revenue streams are essentially based around fees.
Those fees will be fees that people pay for work permit. And as you know, under the immigration law, there are various scales.
His comments came days after Prime Minister Philip Davis, who is also the Minister of Finance, delivered his mid-year budget communication in Parliament. Davis revealed that while expenditure is up, revenue is also up by $278.3 million. Meanwhile, Sayers says another major source of revenue for the department is permanent residency applications.
Persons who apply for permanent residency, we have different categories. That is, if someone purchases a home for $1 million or more, it entitles you to, once you satisfy the immigration department, to permanent residency. And there's also a fee that is paid for that.
Well, this week, during an exclusive sit-down interview, our Italia Hall spoke with Marie McKenzie, Senior VP of Government and Corporate Affairs, about Carnival's Celebration Key in East Grand Bahama. McKenzie discussing the multi-million-dollar project and its transformative impact on the local economy. According to the Senior VP, the project is expected to attract more than 2 million visitors a year, a move that residents have long been counting on to revitalize an economy that has been struggling for decades. From an economic standpoint, McKenzie also highlighted that of the 329 acres of land purchased for the project, a significant portion has been preserved.
We identified over 100 acres that we will build nothing. We want to preserve that area. So even though we have all of this land for the opportunity to build, she was very clear that she wanted to preserve an area. And preservation is not just leaving the land there, it's just making sure that nature is preserved. The birds, anything that already exists there is existing according to how nature wants them to exist. So when we say preservation of that land, that's what we mean.
And over in Exuma, residents are all singing the praises of the Water and Sewage Corporation amid multiple projects, all valued at just over $9 million. In this report, Berthany McDermott tells us the new installation will be in line with sustainability practices.
The Water and Sewage Corporation completing extensive work on Exuma. The $9.1 million project will provide hundreds of residents with potable water for the first time, replace about 3 miles of new water mains, and provide a pressure booster facility to improve water pressure for Rural Town and Little Exuma. WSC General Manager Robert Deal telling us the work is in line with climate resilience standards.
We focus on climate resiliency, ensuring that these mains, these systems are resilient to hurricanes, storms, etc. So that's critical for us, ensuring that they're properly buried, they're buried to the proper depths, where we are interacting with bridges. You'll see in a short while where we have some bridge crossings that those are properly secured in the event of a climatic event. But sustainability is critical for us.
Officials telling us the new systems will also limit water waste with the implementation of smart meters. WSC Executive Chairman Trajane Jadort says the smart meters ensure a better measurement of water from operation to tap.
We are very excited about that as well. That will save the customer quite a bit. The kind of leakage that we catch sometimes 3 months later, we will have the ability to catch those far in advance and save the customer quite a bit of money.
But what do residents think? Baratari resident Donnie Store is one of those getting potable water for the first time. The trained plumber telling us the water pressure is much better.
Immediately after he left, I got my grub hoe and shovel and I began digging the trench to run the water from the meter to my house. And ever since I've been using nice, fresh, potable water.
But he is not the only resident celebrating the new works throughout the island.
We are very elated to see that we are being blessed with potable water.
Well, it is a joy to see the corporation live up to their demands because of the fast rapid of homes are growing and the island is really moving, along with the outer settlements 11 and 14, which had eaten up plenty of water before it gets to us. And now this booster station is a miracle for us.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Well, when Our News Weekend comes back from the break, celebrating 200 years of rich history and spiritual leadership. Today, our Danielle Miller heads to St. John's Native Baptist Cathedral as the church celebrates that milestone. Their story right after this quick break.
Diet-friendly special.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try set them all cold and flu and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Back in 1825, Bethel Baptist Church saw an exodus of several of its members and its second pastor. This as they were locked out of a meeting house. This led to the formation of one of the oldest churches on the island, St. John's Native Baptist Cathedral. Today, the church celebrates their bicentennial anniversary, and our Danielle Miller was there for the historic occasion.
A community of spiritual, political, and civic leaders gathered at St. John's Native Baptist Cathedral to celebrate the church's 200-year anniversary. Founded by freed slave Reverend Prince Williams in 1825, Governor General Her Excellency Dame Cynthia Pratt notes that the occasion's theme, How Faithful is Our God, speaks to the extraordinary blessings of God and the church's rich Christian heritage. Member of Parliament for Bain and Grantstown, Wade Watson says the building is more than just a place of worship, but it should be recognized as a pillar in the community.
Over the past 2 centuries, ladies and gentlemen, St. John's Native Baptist Church has weathered the storm. It has witnessed the evolution of our society, adapting to the changing needs of the congregation while remaining steadfast in their core values.
Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe KC further emphasizing the need for the church and government to work together.
We've always been a faithful church. We've also been a working church, which is very important. We look forward to your continued working with us as we seek to build this great nation. If this church could have fought against slavery, against apartheid, it will assist in the fight that we now have, which is against the scourge of crime in this country.
Delivering the proclamation was pastor of Zion Baptist Church in Virginia, Reverend Dr. Jerome Pratt. He put this charge to the church.
The political climate in the Bahamas is marked with ongoing challenges such as climate change and irregular migration and gun trafficking and all types of crimes. But Revelations chapter 3 verse 7 through 11 reminds us that Jesus commands the church in Philadelphia for their faithfulness, and despite their limited strength, similarly like St. John's Baptist Church, he reminded them to remain faithful to God's word and to continue to be a beacon of hope and stability in the community.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, all the way from Trinidad and Tobago, gospel reggae artist Sherwin Gardner found himself here in the capital for the release of his 20th album, Find Me Here. We've got the details, but first.
The national beach soccer team gets ready to host the CONCACAF Cup, and it was a busy night of hoops. We've got the recap coming up next on Our Sports Weekend.
Diet friendly special.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Good evening, welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. The 2025 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championship is scheduled for next week right here in New Providence. Team Bahamas is ready to show up and show out in front of a home crowd.
It's unexplainable. It's something that we've never achieved in any team sport. I don't think there's ever been a team sport that we've ever done anything where we've qualified when the closest was the basketball boys. With the FIBA qualifiers that they had, they were so close, but they haven't qualified. So I guess we love basketball, track and field, it will be the nature of almost like going to the Olympics basically for us.
All right. That's Bahamas beach soccer national team goalie Michael Butler. He and the Junkanoo boys are preparing to accomplish the unprecedented and punch their ticket to the World Cup when they host the CONCACAF Beach Soccer Cup next week. His teammate Kyle Williams is hyped to play in front of a cheering home crowd.
Playing at home is something else, you know. Being able to just feel the energy of our Bahamian people. Hear the drums, the cowbells, just the little things here and there y'all go, you know, little stuff like that to try and keep us excited. It's special to us, right? And so it's always gives us that extra oomph that we need in order to compete, especially at such a high level. So it's very important for us.
The tournament is coming up, and the BFA is urging everyone to come out and support the hometown heroes.
The 2025 CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers, the dates are March 11th through 16th. Matches begin at 2 p.m. daily. Team Bahamas plays at 8 p.m. every night, so definitely come out and support. Friday is an off day, so matches start on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We break on Friday and come back on Saturday and Sunday for the semifinals and finals.
And great news, the games are free to attend, so get out there with your cowbells and your drums and your aqua, black, and gold and cheer on our guys as they make a bid to get to the World Cup in May in Seychelles. Once again, the tournament starts on March 11th. Now over to the hardwood to see what Bahamians got up to last night. Kai Jones was waived by the Clippers yesterday and immediately picked up on a two-way deal by the Dallas Mavericks. The big man from New Providence averaged 12.5 points and 7.3 rebounds in the G League. All of the Mavs' big men seem to be hurt, so they'll try to press him into action as soon as they can. His new teammate and fellow Bahamian Klay Thompson had 16 points and 5 assists as the Dallas Mavs got demolished by the Milwaukee Bucks 132-117. Buddy Hield and the Warriors took a rare 126-119 loss to the Philadelphia 76ers. He had 6 off the bench for them. Over in college, VJ Edgecombe had 8 points, and he played big in the paint. He had 10 rebounds as his Baylor Bears beat Oklahoma State 71-61. Dayton Aubrey had 12 points and 4 rebounds as the Utah State Aggies got smoked 93-66 by Colorado State. And Ramon Dean had 11 and 8 off the bench as his Fordham Rams lost 90-76 to St. Joseph's. And Coach U and the Rebels should be all wrapped up against LSU. Check our socials for the score from that game. That's a wrap for sports for this evening. For Our Sports Weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. Have a great week.
Thanks, Tej. On the other side of this break, we take a look at your Sunday evening weather forecast. Meteorologist Greg Thompson steps in the Weather Center. Stick with us.
diet-friendly special.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. It's that time on a Sunday evening to wind down and plan for the week ahead. To help you prepare weather-wise, here's meteorologist Greg Thompson. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy Sunday evening, everybody. Beautiful day around the islands. Once again, we do have that dry air mass in place. Two fronts, one basically washing itself or pulling towards the east and away from us. And we are anticipating another front that's dropping into the northwest Bahamas. But in the meantime, it's comfortable outside, 75 degrees with a few clouds. The winds out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 74. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's 71 in Freeport, 73 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. We pick up 71 again in Alistown, Bimini. 75s, Nicholstown, Andros, Great Harbor Key, and here in the capital, 76 in Governor's Harbor. Kemps Bay, 76, also at Coburn Town, San Salvador, Arthurstown, Cat Island, 75, Georgetown, 77, Deadman's Key, Long Island, 78, and into the southeast Bahamas, 78 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, pair of 79s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrahams Bay, Providenciales, Tricks and Caicos Islands, as well as Matthew Town, Inagua. You round out a temperature profile at 80 degrees. Satellite radar composite. This is how things are setting up. We do have that frontal boundary, the first one that went through us yesterday. It's now pulling towards the east, basically a surface trough. But we do have a very weak front dropping into the northwest Bahamas, not bringing much in terms of any significant rainfall with that. But the other one will spark a few showers across the central Bahamas as it continues to pull out. We do anticipate another frontal boundary to be getting in here sometime by the midweek. But in the meantime, high pressure will dominate our weather and a dry air mass will continue to reinforce the very nice conditions we've been having outside. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that surface trough or the remnants of that frontal boundary still to the east of us pulling away. That weak frontal boundary dropping into the area. Not much showers associated with the boundary, but some high-level moisture moving across Florida, and that should skirt the northwest Bahamas. We could see a couple of isolated showers still hanging around, but all in all, it should be a very nice start for the upcoming week. Boating forecast, small craft caution will come into effect. The winds are going to be picking up, starting off northwest and north, and be shifting tomorrow, becoming northeasterly at 50 knots. They will be gusting higher times, seas 3 to 5 feet over open waters. High tide is at 9:47 tonight. The low tide takes place at 4:08 in the morning. Southeast Bahamas, north to northeast winds at around 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet. We do expect those winds to start picking up by late tomorrow evening. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, this is how things are setting up for the next 7 days. Monday, we're looking pretty nice. Partly sunny and windy. Temperatures will stay in the upper 70s. Tuesday, some residual moisture hanging across the area, but temperatures will still stay in the 70s. We do expect another weak boundary to be getting in here by Wednesday, but temperatures will hang out near the 80-degree mark, but those nighttime temperatures will be taking a dip. We're looking at some 60s for the balance of the week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night and have a great upcoming week.
Thanks, Greg. Gospel reggae is now a globally recognized and enjoyed genre, but that wasn't the tune when it was first introduced. And despite the backlash from the traditional gospel community, founding artists of the genre pressed on. This past Friday night, one of the men considered a pioneer of gospel reggae celebrated the release of his 20th album, Powered by Your Live. Our Danielle Miller was there.
I started recording at the age of 12. And then, you know, when we started doing gospel, reggae, gospel, dancehall, it was something that was frowned upon.
That's gospel sensation Sherwin Gardner, now widely recognized for his success in the industry. In fact, he recently launched his 20th album, Find Me Here. The event, held at Bahama Harvest Church and powered by Alive, sharing the stage with local and international gospel artists, all of whom says they've felt the impact of his influence. Fellow Trinidad and Tobago artist, Positive, tells me he recalls as a young man watching Gardner perform with Lieutenant Stitchie and Papa San. It was their tenacity that broke a glass ceiling, becoming pioneers in the genre.
Because of guys like Sherwin is the reason why we have the courage and the vigor to pursue, chasing after our dreams within Caribbean gospel music, and to see what God has been doing in his life for so many years. I mean, not just, blessings find me, but just the entirety of him as an artist, as a musician, as a minister. It has been a blessing.
Later in his career, Sherwin's song Find Me Here went viral. This is when artists Kateri Bluford and Kalante Gavin learned about the artist.
The thing is that I just got put on to Sherwin, and so just to kind of hear his music and also to hear his heart behind what he writes, you can really feel where he is in his walk.
I always wanted to be able to accomplish major things from the island, to be able to encourage others that you don't have to move, you don't have to go anywhere, you just have to trust God and have faith that you will be able to move mountains and he will do it for you.
Having a career that spans decades is not an easy feat. Sherwin has managed to produce music that impacts generations. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Great story. Thanks so much, Danielle. Hot 91 and Our News are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. Be sure to listen in to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Once you hear it, head over to hot91fm.com or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. The winner receives round-trip tickets, hotel and concert tickets for you and a friend. And be sure to look out for the Our News team to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Flyaway promotion. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.